Chapter 24, Naomi E. So you know how we postponed the celebration because it would be impossible to sum up how not celebration-y that class with the other Naomi was last weekend, so I let the because sit in the air. Birds are singing, and the because fades away as they tweet on, mixed in with the sounds of people in cars. Yeah, Annie says, watching her feet dribble the soccer ball. She's running some drill she learned at practice that involves kicking the ball high up and then trying to control it with her feet. I always want to say, it would be so much easier if you use your hands, but Annie doesn't find soccer jokes funny. It's hot this morning, but there are a lot of clouds, and when they slide in front of the sun, you can feel a cool breeze, too. Beneath the tree, little not-yet apricots fell before they had a chance to get ripe, rotting in a sloppy circle around the trunk. I'm on the swing, rocking slowly, feeling pretty miserable. I screwed up, I say. I've had that not hungry and then some feeling in my stomach all week. Annie's feet keep doing complicated things, but now she's looking up at me. Yeah? So what really happened? I tell her the whole horrible story, everything, how I kept not doing any work, and how the other Naomi and I argued a lot, but sometimes we agreed too, and how some of the stuff we put in our project was really cool, but how in the end it was this whole disaster. And if I had only worked as hard as the other Naomi, everything would have been fine. The class would be over, we'd have our big celebration, and Annie would have already met the other Naomi. I really want to meet her, Annie says. I'm almost sure they'd like each other. I can picture Annie reading one of Brianna's books, and both of them, Brianna and Naomi, laughing with Annie and me. I'm realizing something, I tell Annie. I actually like her. I was so mad at Dad about everything that I was almost refusing to let her be my friend, you know? Incredibly, impossibly, Annie's feet are not moving. The ball is still right next to her. She's not moving, just waiting, like I've said something she thought she'd never hear. She's really smart and kind of funny, too. I wish I could make this better, and without thinking too much about it, I say, so I have this idea, even though it's only the start of one, and maybe you could meet her. I'm tired of waiting. When? When would I meet her? Now? I don't exactly lie to my dad because it is true, as I said, that we're heading toward Annie's now. I don't mention that we'll be walking right past her house after we head toward it. Annie and I are barely on our way when she asks, exactly how mad will your dad be if he finds out? Good question, hard to answer. He won't find out, I tell her. I want to say more, but the loudest bus in the history of transportation is right next to us. It could win awards for snorty and groaning loudness. We walk faster to get away, but it catches up to us. Annie stops, turns, and gives it a nasty look. A bus! When it finally turns, we can hear each other again. We're allowed to walk to each other's houses all the time, right? I say. Annie looks at me like she's not even going to bother answering such a stupid question. It's the other part, she says. Are you allowed to walk to the Y yourself? She knows I'm not, all because of one stupid street, that very wide street we have to cross when there was once a terrible accident, and so now I need to be with my dad to cross, probably until I graduate high school, or maybe even after that. I walk there every week with my dad for the 6 stupid classes, I say, and then remembering I'm trying to be nicer about the whole duo-tech thing. I say, for 6 whole weeks. Annie makes a face at me, eyebrows raised, half a smile that says, you totally didn't answer my question. We both know you are not allowed to cross that street without an adult. We're a block from Annie's when she stops walking. She looks at me confused and says, so wait a minute, you know her schedule by heart? You're sure the other Naomi will be there now? I shake my head, but she made it sound like she's always there, like she practically owns the building. She takes swimming, African dance, and probably 5 other things too, and if she's not there, she'll be at the library. Our library? No, I don't think so. But we could figure it out. I'm sure we'll find her. I need to at least try. I want to, talk it out. And tell her I'm sorry. When we reach Annie's house, she races to the end of the lawn to grab a new ball because her soccer feet need it. And she's almost all the way back to the sidewalk when her mom opens the front door. Naomi! Annie, I thought you were staying at Naomi's today. Annie is the worst liar. This hardly ever comes up. The only time I saw it was one huge lie about Halloween candy she was supposed to share with her brothers. But it's like she's playing freeze tag right here on the sidewalk. Annie has stopped walking, dribbling, talking, my best friend the statue. Not that I know exactly how to handle this. I wasn't counting on parents. Are you staying here now? Naomi, should I call your father? Her mom asks. No, I say, too loud and too fast and just way too. We were about to. Maybe she won't notice that it's not a complete sentence. Her mom looks and finally says, "Well, Annie, since you're home, you may as well come with me to pick up Chase. I was going to call now anyway. We can give you a lift if you'd like, Naomi." "No, thanks," I say. I should probably say more, but maybe saying less is the way to go with lying. I don't have a ton of experience. I wave and smile and keep walking, even though maybe it's a little weird that I'm heading in the opposite direction of home. When I reach Scary Boulevard, I'm thinking about what I want to say to Naomi. I know I at least owe it to my dad to cross at the corner, wait at the light, and be as careful as I can be, and I am. It's no big deal, really. It's not like I'm 6. I can cross big streets. This shouldn't even be something to worry about my father getting mad about. As I walk up to the Y, I'm trying to remember if there's a directory about which class meets in which room. And, did all classes end the same week as girls gaming the system? Is this the stupidest idea ever? I brace myself for the awful smell and walk in hoping I'll figure it out. And suddenly there's someone wet wrapped around my waist, jumping up and down and saying, White Naomi, what are you doing here?" Valerie turns the corner from the other hallway saying, "Brianna, don't run!" And then she sees me and says, "Naomi, what are you doing here?" The question of the day, which I answer with a question of my own. Is Naomi here? I wanted to talk to her. I wish I had a stopwatch so I could tell you exactly how long Valerie stands there staring at me. I also wish I had a towel because Brianna is getting me soaked. She finally unhugs and takes a step back and looks at me the same way her mother does. Valerie's shaking her head as she asks, "Is your father here?" "No," I say. She tilts her head a little and then asks, "Does he know you're here?" This is bad. "Not exactly," I say. "And the reason you're here but he doesn't know is..." This is very bad. I wanted to talk to Naomi. I had a feeling she'd be here. Brianna keeps looking back and forth between us. Her mouth is wide open. Valerie holds her phone. "Do you want me to call your dad? Or do you want me to?" I don't want either of those things.